folks, welcome back to Stacey Can. Today I am making garlic confit. I'm probably saying that wrong. And this is a great recipe that, and a great thing to have in the house if you want to make sure you smell like armpits and feet. Or if you want to have your whole family smell like armpits and feet, this is a great dish to have. I do suggest if you're going to be eating it that you make sure everyone else around you eats it too, or you can use it as a deterrent for folks to approach you. Garlic is fantastically smelly that way. You can't smell it on you, but folks can smell it on you, so there's that. I am using this recipe from, it's just on the website Food and Wine. It's down in the show notes below. And I want to talk real quick about the storage of garlic. Now, the food safety disclaimer, I know I'm going to be reading something. It's such great viewing time, but I don't care. This is important information. Garlic is a low acid food, so you need to make sure it's a low acid ingredient. So if stored improperly in oil, which means without oxygen, when you're storing it in oil, there's no oxygen in there, and in warm temperatures, say at room temperature, it can produce a very serious toxin that causes botulism. So just it's a breeding ground for that. So homemade garlic confit and garlic oil should always be made and immediately stored in the refrigerator for food safety reasons. So there's some food safety guidelines, and I'll have some of those listed down below as well, so you can read it for yourself. And it is recommended that you use them within 4 days of making. Now, it also says here, but if prepared and stored properly, it can often keep for several weeks in the refrigerator. But it doesn't talk about it being stored, prepared properly. And I don't know if they mean this in this way, but everything I have read about it, you just need to eat it within 4 days. So you can make them in smaller batches and freeze it. And some people do that, which is what I'm going to do today. But it's such a great thing to have. It's like butter. You can smear it on really great bread. You can put it atop of any food you want. You can eat it straight out of the jar. It's actually fantastic. Garlic is great for the immune system. And if you, and for a lot of folks who have autoimmune issues, it's great for them for that too. Plus, we're in the COVID, so what a great thing to eat while we are battling literally something that's in the air that tries to kill us. Yay for this gloom and doom. You're welcome. So, the ingredients that you need for this is 6 heads of garlic. So I actually have 7 here, and these are you can see they're kind of purpley, but that's a good sign that if they're pink or kind of purple, sometimes it's fresher. So and these feel really fantastic. They looked good at the grocery store. So you want them kind of firm. If they're sort of soft and kind of light, that means they're starting to sprout and all of that great. You can still eat it that way, it's fine, but a lot of the green shoots are starting to come out of garlic at that point, so all of the flavor is going into those shoots, so they become much more mild, so just keep that in mind. You need 6 sprigs of thyme, 3 small bay leaves, which I have here, and I accidentally grabbed Turkish bay leaves, so I'm just gonna work with that. I've never worked with Turkish bay leaves before, but why not today? It sounds fun. And then 3 dried red chilies of your flavor, of your choosing. I'm using these arbol. These are great ones. They've got good heat to it, so that'll be kind of nice. And then 2 cups of pure olive oil. I'm doing a regular kind of like mid-range olive oil. I wouldn't do a bottom of the barrel olive oil. We are going to be cooking it. A confit is when you are, it's kind of the opposite of frying. You're still heating the oil up, but you're not frying the food. It's not at such a high temperature. So we're going to be cooking this at a real low temperature where it doesn't come to a boil. It's just going to be really slow, kind of slow and low, and that's where it softens up the food that you are cooking, hence the term confit. That's what that means. So keep that, and I'm probably saying the word wrong, so whatever, sorry. But that is how these are the ingredients, and so with all that, let's go ahead and get started. Little side note on the ingredients that you need, or I already went over the ingredients, but the tools. So we are going to need some jars of some sort to store your confit in when you're done, and then also a container. I'm going to do a variety of things to try to peel the garlic. That's going to be the big thing. So you are going to need a knife, possibly a paring knife too, and to cut some of the ends off, and then give a jar. We're going to give them a shake to try to peel them. If you have better ways of peeling, I Googled and did a little research on the best way to peel garlic, and all of it looks like the best way to peel it is with your fingers, but we're just gonna try a few different ways, because getting 2 cups of garlic out of fresh garlic flour might take a minute. So I'm gonna do my best to get some better results. So first off, you just want to put all your weight on it and just kind of try to break open the clove a little bit. And I'm not doing a great job with that, and I just dropped one on the floor. I've seen other people do it. They must have better muscle strength than I do. I don't. I have my garbage can right here, so I don't want you to think I'm dropping it right on the floor. Not that you care. Well, I hope you care. Cleanliness is sort of necessary. So we're just gonna do our best to, I'm gonna break them up. I've seen some things where you can just throw the whole clove in between. I'm using a mason jar. There are some people have bowls that match up nicely where they can give them a good shake for apparently 20 seconds. I've seen that debunked a few times. I don't know if that's really gonna work well or not. We're gonna give it a whirl. But I've seen, I think it's best that you at least get it out of the flour format prior to shaking it. And then you just throw it all in, apparently, like so. And then we give it a shake for 20 seconds. So, here we go. Let's see what we have. Well, I have one that is peeled. One out of all of them. There are some that are mostly peeled. So this whole, I'm debunking that little thing of, oh, you just do this for 20 seconds and it's peeled. No, it's not. I had one that was peeled. And it's not peeled completely. Just one. So I think we're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way of just peeling the garlic. Although I will say it does make it fragrant, and it did loosen up some of the skins. So that's not a bad thing. Okay, one way to peel the garlic too is just to cut the ends off like so, and then you can kind of peel some of the skin off. You need to cut the end off anyway. So I have always found that this is a pretty good way to get your garlic peeled, to get the paper off of it. And then it's nice and lovely, and you're not beating the snot out of it either. So I actually ended up with almost 3 cups of garlic from all of that. So I'm gonna just add a third, but it does call a third extra. So it does call for 2 cups. The recipe calls for 2 cups of olive oil and 2 cups of garlic, but I'm gonna add about 2 3/4 of a cup, because it wasn't quite 2 cups of, or 3 cups of garlic. So I'm doing 2 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. And then adding in all my peeled garlic. It called for 3 small bay leaves. This one's kind of broke a little bit. This one's a little bit bigger, and these are a little bit bigger. So I'm just gonna still use the 2 instead of, or still use just these 3, because these 2 are a little bit bigger. So just keep that in mind. Called for 6 sprigs, but I added in a few extras because I've got, a little bit more. And then it said for 3 peppers, but I'm adding in an extra 2 because we like a little bit of heat. And now we're getting this up to a simmer. We're gonna let it simmer. We're gonna simmer it on low for about 30 minutes until the garlic gets soft. 30-minute timer's gone off, and this is nice and soft. And you want it to be just soft, but not brown, which is great. Oh, look at that. So we're gonna do a little test, and look at that. You can just look how spreadable that is. You just spread that, it's like butter. And with a little bit of that oil on top of it, this is a snack of all snacks. Now we're gonna let it cool, and once it's done cooling, then we can transfer it to jars for storage. It's gonna take about 20-30 minutes to cool it off. So So the garlic is nice and cool now, so I'm going to just use a slotted spoon and just carefully transfer to some jars. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave in the, just the, the spices and such. It's kind of pretty in there. Actually, I'm gonna transfer a little bit to another jar. And then we'll pour some of the fantastic oil back into the jars themselves. And then we just simply put the cap on. And this is how we make garlic confit. It's great, tastes fantastic. The house smells really good. And it's got really great flavor. The peppers in here, that it doesn't make it spicy at all. It just gives it, it's just a hint of a flavor. That's it. You can mix and match the herbs and spices that you use for this. It's real simple to suit your palate. But I am going to put them both in the refrigerator. Remember, you gotta eat them within 4 days. I probably won't eat both of these. Our family won't in the next 4 days. So I'm gonna, but I will still put them both in the refrigerator, one jar for just a little bit to cool it completely because it's still warm to the touch, before putting it in the freezer. And when I'm ready for it, I'll pull that out of the freezer and enjoy. But just remember that it's warm to the touch at the moment, so it is good to put it in the refrigerator because this is a breeding ground for bacteria. Garlic, the low acidness of them inside an oil with no oxygen to separate, it's just going to breed bacteria, and it can make you very, very sick. So keep that in mind. Some recipes will say it's good for a month in the refrigerator. I mean, it is your kitchen, it is your life. You get to do it with that information what you want. But I will be following the instructions, and because botulism is no joke. So I will be eating it within 4 days in our family here, which won't take much. We've got some beautiful fresh bread tonight, and it'll probably be gone pretty quickly. So the recipe is down below. While you're down there, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacey Can Can. You can at me on TikTok and Instagram at Stacey Can Can. My website is www.staceycancan.com, and my email is info@staceycancan.com. Thanks so much again for joining me today, and until next time, happy canning.